The most profound breakthroughs in a case rarely arrive with a flash of insight. They begin in the margins, overlooked. Near midnight, under a sputtering street lamp, a patrol officer writes a parking ticket. Rain mottles the windshield, the ink bleeds, but the paper is tucked beneath a wiper. Hours later, that simple citation number will isolate one car and one name from a sea of thousands. In a dusty workshop, a homemade ladder leans against a wall, splintered and unassuming. But under a laboratory lens, its wood grain tells a story. The unique scars left by a saw blade become a fingerprint, leading back to the very bench where it was cut. Who would think a common plank of wood could hold a map and its rings? The same meticulous patience can lift a single speck of paint or a lone carpet fiber and anchor a victim to a place they were never supposed to be. When memories fade and stories change, one fragment of truth holds fast. A crumpled receipt, pulled from a pocket, redraws an entire evening with a single timestamp. In the background of a frantic phone call, a distant church bell or a two-tone railroad crossing signal cuts through the noise. Suddenly, a citywide search narrows to a handful of streets. The smallest traces, saliva on a postage stamp, the herringbone pattern of a heel pressed into damp soil, become undeniable signposts. In an age of information overload, where vital signals are buried in noise, these quiet clues are what keep an investigation honest. But finding these clues is only half the battle. The human mind itself can be a compromised crime scene. We are drawn to familiar narratives. Confirmation bias makes us see only what we expect, while inattentional blindness erases anything that contradicts our theory. To fight this, investigators must deliberately slow down. Through cold case reviews and cross-discipline roundtables, they don't just look for answers, they search for the gaps in their own knowledge. This pause is not a delay.
It is a reset. And in that reset, new tools make the invisible visible. A degraded strand of deoxyribonucleic acid, once dismissed as useless, is now analyzed with complex algorithms until a faint profile emerges. A digital forensics expert recovers deleted fragments from a device, rebuilding a timeline that was meant to be erased forever. A geographic profiler transforms a series of random locations into a coherent pattern, narrowing the search to a few city blocks. What else hides in plain sight, waiting for us to change our perspective? This has never been more critical. Our lives shed data with every step and every swipe, creating an ever-expanding digital shadow. New techniques are in a constant race to keep justice from falling behind technology. But the most advanced tools are silent instruments. They only work when an investigator is trained to listen for their song. To truly understand a case, you have to learn to listen in the same way. To hear the subtle scratch of a pen in an interview room, the soft chime of an elevator that pinpoints a suspect's arrival, the distant train horn that becomes an unintentional timestamp on a crucial phone call. The truth is found not in the spectacle, but in these quiet moments, because at the heart of every case are people harmed and lives irrevocably altered. And sometimes the path to justice begins by chasing one small sound through the noise of a city night until it finally resolves into a name.